Good morning, children. Today we will be doing part 2 of No Formalities, Please. Remember, in the last class we had done the first part of this lesson where you learned how to write a formal letter. The lesson was where teacher taught the children how to write a formal letter to their school principal. And why did they write the letter? To ask the principal if they could issue library books and take them home so they got more time to read. So today, let us see what happens further. Mrs. Desai met the principal soon after class. She told her about the excitement that followed the announcement of the new books in the library. मिसेस देसाई क्लास के बाद प्रिंसिपल से मिली और उन्होंने प्रिंसिपल को बताया कि बच्चे कितने खुश थे कि नए बुक्स आए हैं लाइब्रेरी में. They just cannot wait to read all these lovely books. She beamed. Beamed means smiled. And she told the principal that the children are so excited that they are just waiting to read all the lovely books in the library. The principal was also delighted and praised her. Delighted means happy. Praised means to talk highly about that person. What did principal say? The credit goes to you, Mrs. Desai. Credit goes to you means all this is because of you. So the principal was praising Mrs. Desai. You have created and aroused their interest in reading books. Aroused means to generate, to make the children interested in reading the books. It is going to help them a great deal in future. So children, the principal has told Mrs. Desai कि ये सब आपकी मेहरबानी है कि आपने बच्चों को किताबें पढ़ने में एनकरेज किया है. जब बच्चे किताबें पढ़ते हैं तो अभी नहीं बल्कि उनके फ्यूचर में उन्हें बहुत काम में आएगा. So remember children, reading books will increase your knowledge. It will increase the way you speak English. It will also help you become more confident. So always read books. This will help you in your future. Yes, madam, said Mrs. Desai, but they find the weekly library period too short a time to read. So my students are going to appeal to you to allow home issue of books. They have written to you a letter of request. Appeal means request. Mrs. Desai ने प्रिंसिपल को बताया कि हाँ मैडम, पर प्रॉब्लम ये है कि बच्चों को लाइब्रेरी पीरियड बहुत कम लगता है. इस वजह से उन्हें बुक्स पढ़ने को वक्त नहीं मिलता है. इसलिए बच्चे आपको रिक्वेस्ट करने वाले हैं कि आप उन्हें जो लाइब्रेरी बुक्स है वो घर पे लेने दें. They have written to you a letter. A letter? The principal said in surprise. तो प्रिंसिपल शॉक्ड हो गए कि बच्चे प्रिंसिपल को लेटर लिख रहे हैं. I had to teach the class how to write polite formal letters, and I took this opportunity to make them actually write a formal letter, explained Mrs. Desai. Opportunity means मौका. So Mrs. Desai told the principal कि मैं वैसे भी बच्चों को क्लास में फॉर्मल लेटर कैसे लिखते हैं यह पढ़ाने वाली थी. तो मैंने मौका लेकर इस इशू को सब्जेक्ट से रिलेट किया और बच्चों को कहा कि अब आप लोगों को पता है कि लेटर कैसे लिखते हैं, तो आप लोग अपने प्रिंसिपल को फॉर्मल लेटर लिखो। Excellent, Mrs. Desai, exclaimed the principal. Exclaimed means said very loudly. She was very happy. So she said, Excellent to Mrs. Desai. And I shall not dampen their interest in reading. Dampen means to lessen or to say no so they'll be sad. So the principal said, मैं उनका यह बुक पढ़ने का इंटरेस्ट कम नहीं करने वाली हूँ, मैं उन्हें एनकरेज करने वाली हूँ। I shall certainly allow them to take books home for reading. तो प्रिंसिपल बच्चों को अलाउ करने वाली है कि वह लाइब्रेरी के किताबें घर पे लेकर पढ़ सकते हैं। The next morning, the principal found the letter on her desk. She signed the letter with the remark, Permission granted, and sent it to the librarian. तो अगले दिन सुबह जब प्रिंसिपल मैम अपने कैबिन में आई तो उन्होंने वह चिट्ठी या लेटर अपने टेबल पे पाया। And she was very happy to read the letter. And as she promised that she will allow the children, so on the letter she wrote, Permission granted means allow the children to take the books home. And that signed letter she then sent it to the librarian. Who is a librarian? The teacher who takes care of the library. To encourage the children of class 4 further, the principal instructed the librarian to give a written reply to the students. And here's what he wrote. प्रिंसिपल ने लाइब्रेरियन को कहा कि आप इस लेटर का रिप्लाई बच्चों को लिखकर दे दीजिए लेटर के फॉर्मेट में। तो चलो देखते हैं कि लाइब्रेरियन सर ने बच्चों को कैसे रिप्लाई किया इन द फॉर्म ऑफ अ लेटर। सो सेम वे हियर दिस इज द सेंडर, द लाइब्रेरी सर, then the date when the letter was written. On the left margin, who the letter is written to. So to the students of class 4. Then, dear children, I am delighted to know that you are so keen on reading the new books in our school library. मैं बहुत खुश हूँ यह जान के कि आपको इतना शौक है लाइब्रेरी बुक्स पढ़ने में। The principal has been kind enough to grant to your class permission for home issue facility. प्रिंसिपल मैम ने मुझे परमिशन दिया कि मैं आपको बुक्स घर पे लेने को अलाउ करूँ। I shall keep the library open for an hour after school on all weekdays. Weekdays means Monday to Friday. So library sir has told the children that after school the library will be open for 1 hour. You can come and collect any one book of your choice and return it the following week. तो उस 1 घंटे में आप लाइब्रेरी में आ सकते हो, जो बुक लेना है वो सिलेक्ट कर सकते हो और घर जाकर उसे पढ़ सकते हो और 1 हफ्ते बाद उसे वापस रिटर्न करो। But I must urge you to read and observe the library rules displayed in the library. मगर जब भी आप आते हो तो पहले लाइब्रेरी के जो रूल्स हैं वो ध्यान से पढ़ो और फॉलो करो। Do come and enjoy reading the books. And in the end, sincerely yours, Mr. Vijay Patil, librarian. So this was the letter written by the library sir to the students of class 4. Hey, great news, cried the monitor. Look, we have received a letter from the librarian. And guess what? We can take storybooks home to read. तो क्लास का मॉनिटर ने क्लास में अनाउंस किया कि चलो बच्चों, बहुत खुशी की बात है कि लाइब्रेरियन सर ने हमें परमिशन दिया बुक्स घर पे लेने को. Wow! exclaimed Shruti with bright round eyes. So Shruti was very happy. Goodbye, boredom. Welcome, happy hours, shouted Akshay. Goodbye, boredom. Boredom means the days of getting bored. And welcome, happy hours. So now we will not get bored at home. We will enjoy reading the books. The letter from the librarian was put up on the class notice board for all to read. तो वह जो लेटर है उसे क्लास के नोटिस बोर्ड पे लगाया ताकि सब बच्चे आके पढ़ सकते हैं. When Mrs. Desai walked into the classroom, the students of class 4 burst out into many exclamations of thanks. तो जब मिसेस देसाई क्लास में आई तो बच्चे जोर से थैंक यू थैंक यू थैंक यू मैम कहने लगे क्योंकि वे बहुत खुश थे. Shall we write a letter of thanks to the librarian? Suggested Manuja. तो मनुजा सजेस्टेड और उसने कहा कि अब क्या हमें लाइब्रेरियन को थैंक यू का लेटर लिखना चाहिए. That's an excellent idea, said Mrs. Desai, smiling to herself at the new interest in formal letter writing. मिसेस देसाई बहुत खुश हुई कि बच्चों को अब पता है कि फॉर्मल लेटर कैसे लिखना है और अब वे खुद लेटर लिखना चाहते हैं. This is the letter of thanks the children wrote to the librarian. So this is the thank you letter. Again, this is the sender, class 4, with the date. This is the receiver, जिसको हम लिख रहे हैं. So to the librarian and the school's name and address. What is the subject of this letter? An expression of thanks. Means this is a thank you letter. Now let's read the letter. Dear Sir, thank you ever so much for kindly making the home reading facility available to us. We are really grateful that you are going to wait back 1 hour after school just for us. We can now read books of our choice at a stretch. Thank you very much for your encouragement. तो बच्चों ने लाइब्रेरी सर को धन्यवाद किया कि उन्होंने अलाउ भी किया और वो स्कूल के बाद भी रुकने को तैयार हुए सिर्फ बच्चों के खातिर. We promise to abide. Abide means follow. We promise to follow by the library rules and handle the books with great care. So they promised that they will follow all the rules of the library and they'll take care of the books and return them in proper condition. Many thanks once again. Yours faithfully, students of class 4. So this is a formal thank you letter by the students to the librarian. Now children, that you know how to write formal letters, here is your home assignment. First one, you wish to use the assembly hall to hold an exhibition of your science projects. Write a letter to request the principal to allow you to use the hall. तो आपके क्लास में साइंस एग्जीबिशन होने वाला है, तो सारे बच्चे साइंस के प्रोजेक्ट करने वाले हैं। अब वो प्रोजेक्ट्स क्लास में तो नहीं रख सकते हैं क्योंकि वो जगह लेते हैं और लोग उसे देखने भी आएंगे। तो आपके स्कूल में जो असेंबली का हॉल है, आपको वो यूज़ करना है। इस विषय पर आपको प्रिंसिपल को लेटर लिखना होगा उसका परमिशन लेने के लिए। सेकंड, मिस्टर एंड मिसेस प्रभु ने past students of your school. Past students of your school means they were studying in your school many years ago. They have given you every kind of help to hold the exhibition. Write a letter of thanks to them. So children, here in the second one, there are two people, Mr. and Mrs. Prabhune. These are students of your school who are now ready to help you out for your science exhibition. They have already given you all the help so that your science exhibition was carried out very well. Because they have helped you so much, you have to write a thank you letter to them. So first letter is request letter, second letter is thank you letter. You can see the examples of the letters that were done in this topic. You may find the following format useful when you write the letters. So you can use this format as a sample and do both these letters as your homework. Now read the following chart carefully. Here are some sentences and these are the kinds of sentences. First one, the students of class 4 greeted their teacher. This is a sentence which is telling you something. This we call it as a statement. Come here, Javed and Nisha. Now, this is a command or an order, or if the teacher is calling politely, it can also be called as a request. So when you tell someone to do something, we call it as a command or a request. What an opportunity! And this is followed by this mark which we call exclamation mark. So this is an exclamation. And should we end it with yours lovingly and a question mark? So this will be a question. So these are the 4 kinds of sentences in English: statement, command or request, exclamation, and question. Now what you have to do, children? Find one example of each kind of sentence from the passages you have read so far and write it in your notebook and also write the kind of sentence. Number 4, note that each kind of sentence can be positive or negative. तो हर एक सेंटेंस का 2 पहलू होता है, पॉजिटिव सेंटेंस और नेगेटिव सेंटेंस. Positive is a normal sentence and negative is a sentence where no or not comes. So if you see the same example, here the cuckoo is a lazy bird. This is a sentence which is positive. If I say the cuckoo is not a lazy bird, then this becomes a negative sentence. So if there is no or not added, then the sentence becomes negative. That was all in today's lesson, children. Thank you.